Trippy hippie Alicia jumping on the mic. You know what day it is. You know what time. It's time for your bitch bonus. The first bitch bonus, actually.
Yes.
I'm here with my friend Bethany. She almost falls off a chair. And let me tell you, I'm going to just slide in our disclaimer really quick. It's the same as Hard Talks. It's just a bonus episode again. But this is a little different. If you don't like to talk really, really hard shit like politics or what's going on current event-wise in the United States, the bonus episodes are not for you. So we appreciate you listening to the intro. But
yes.
Yeah, just slide out now. We're trying to
try us out once.
Yeah. Well,
try everything once.
But we just want to give that disclosure, 18 and up. We are still talking everything extremely difficult, hard, taboo. What's going on in the media. Eventually, in the second episode, actually, we're going to jump into what the bonus episode is mainly about, where, like I said, we do talk politics. We're going to touch on the incident with the Capitol.
Right.
We have to.
Right.
But this is just going to be fun. We're, again, just going to do a little intro, get to know each other like we haven't already, and actually let the audience get to know Bethany because she is amazing. That being said, we do have a second bitch who just ironically happens to be a cosmetologist as well. Her name is Corey, and she will be joining us next time, and we'll get to know her a little bit better. But she's amazing as well, and before we jump into all the hard shit, we can spend this time getting to know Bethany and discuss some of the things we missed from our Utah episode. So yeah, Beth and I originally met in hair school.
Alicia had actually already gone to Paul Mitchell in Sacramento.
Yeah, we both went to Paul Mitchell Cosmetology School.
In Ogden.
Well, I went to Paul Mitchell in Sacramento first,
right.
And then I had to move home.
Right.
Yes.
So, but they made her start all over again from the beginning.
Bitches.
And I had just started, and so at Paul Mitchell, I'm not sure how it is at other cosmetology schools, but at Paul Mitchell, when you first start out, you start with the group of people who are starting with you, and it's called your core class.
Yeah, we have a core class.
And so
awesomeness. We met a lot of people in there. A lot of different diverse people. It was a good time.
And that's kind of where they teach you the basics before they like throw you out on the floor and give you scissors and some peroxide developer and let you go to town. So that's where you kind of learn your color theory and haircuts and how to do pin curls and kind of the basis of it. But the first day we took a break for lunch, and I was so set on when I came to Paul Mitchell, because I'm from Iowa. Yeah. I'm from Iowa. I moved to Utah when I was 24. And I have a pretty solid set of amazing friends. Alicia's met them. She knows.
They are amazing. All the buds.
They're great.
The Iowa buds.
But, so coming into this,
she can't stop clicking her pin.
No, I'm like,
she's a little nervous.
I don't know why though.
You get nervous. The second episode we recorded, I was like shaking, and I'm like, I need to not drink anymore because the regular episodes we drink, and I'm just like, I can't drink. I can't drink anymore. But yeah, when Bethany and I met, we're in, like she said, this like summary class. It's a 6-week class that basically...
It's like the intro to Cosmo School.
Basically gives you a rundown of what you're going to cover the whole year, 1,600 hours that you're going to be there. And she was shy. And it's so funny, and we laugh because I've met all of her friends, and they are amazing. But they're like, she was shy. Biff was the least shy person in the entire state of Iowa. What the hell?
I just went in there and I was older than a lot of the girls that go to cosmetology school, because a lot of girls, not everybody though, there's all ages and...
Yeah, but you met me because I was 20.
Yeah.
And I was determined. Like, you were determined to go in and be silent and just get through it. And I was determined.
It was more like I'm doing this to get my license. And it's like, you know, everybody on game shows are like, I'm not here to make friends.
Right. That was Bethany.
Yeah.
Opposed to me.
Oh, my God.
I had already been through core, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Let me just go in. And I woke up that morning, I remember, and I was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to make a friend today.
I've never met somebody more positive in my life than the first day I ever met Alicia. I was almost like, I don't know. She's so happy.
She's probably really fucking weird.
No, I didn't. That's not. I was just like, she's so happy. Like,
what's wrong with her?
No one's ruined her life yet. But then I found out that she's had some shit go down. So that was even more impressive. How happy and positive you are with.
I'm a glass half full type of gal. For sure. I do want to hear what brought you to Utah. Of all places. From Iowa. She currently lives in near Santa Monica, California. So, I mean, it's a big leap. You've been around.
I keep making my way more west. So, We'll see. So, I moved to Utah because I don't know, like, the story was, like, a long in the making. I basically was out of control, 22-year-old.
Hardy.
Partied way too hard. Like, that was life. I've always done really good in school and everything, but, like...
She's brilliant, actually.
Honestly, like, when I moved to Iowa City, like, Iowa City is such a party school. Also, we're in Iowa. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah,
besides
maybe meth.
Get dressed. Yeah, but not, like, in that part.
Okay.
That's more of, like, the rural part of Iowa.
For sure.
But I was just not taking care of myself, and I, you know, was the party was like the point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like I got a DUI.
Oh no, little bit.
Yeah, so I got a DUI. I had to drop out of school, out of the University of Iowa after that for a little bit because DUIs are expensive.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to, like, and the job that I had also wasn't awesome. The only thing that was good about that is the owner of the restaurant that I worked at was a DUI lawyer.
Oh,
so he represented me for free, so that was awesome.
Yeah.
But I never had any money, and I was always sad, and I was always like, I was in this shitty, I wouldn't really call it a relationship because turns out, like, he had a girlfriend the whole time, so, like, one of those things.
Yeah.
But I thought I was in a relationship.
Yeah.
And that sucked, obviously, because of that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't taking care of myself, and I had no passion. Like, I remember, like, filling out an application to be, like, a pharmacy tech. Like, that's so not me. You know what I mean? But I was, like, I don't have, like, I only had my AA at the time, so it was, like, Anyways, I would call my brother all the time and cry and tell him how unhappy I was and how, like, unfair life was. And, I've been in trouble for drinking and, like, if not in trouble, like, it was just...
So your parents were...
yes,
justifiably worried.
You need to figure it out.
And they were like, rehab or Utah?
Basically, like, yes. And my brother...
I don't know which one's worse at this point.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like, I was like, isn't Utah rehab? Like, is the rehab in Utah? Like, what? I don't know.
A lot of them are, actually.
But my oldest brother lives in Utah. Because he retired from the Air Force last year, but he was stationed at the Hill Air Force Base. And so he was like, just come out here, like, just get like, my friends are awesome, but it's like, we all had to go our separate ways because it was just like, we have to evolve and you have to do new things and hang out with, your 6 best friends all the time.
Absolutely.
And so I moved out there, to nanny, my niece and my nephew, and he was kind of like, we're gonna work on your credit, and you're gonna, you know what I mean, like all this stuff that's like, to be a successful adult, you haven't been doing this, like, I'll help you do that if you come here. And it was like, are you gonna go back to school? Are you gonna, like, what are you gonna do that way? And I was like, I've always wanted to do cosmetology school, but I always thought that it was the easy way out, or if it was something that people that
Which
weren't...
we learned it is not.
Oh, Jesus. But
hair is hard. Hair is science.
But it has this stigma sometimes. Now that the beauty industry is booming, like, even, like, when did we go to school together? Like, 2015?
16? Yeah.
So even then, like, it still had, especially when I graduated high school, because that was already, like, something I already kind of wanted to do, but I went to school because everyone goes to school.
Right.
Because it was almost looked upon, it had this stigma as, like, people that aren't smart do hair.
Yeah.
Or go to cosmetology school. And I didn't like that because
You were a psychiatry major.
Yes,
initially.
so I know that...
You were prepared to go to medical school.
I'm smart, but it was one of those things where it was like... But the passion wasn't in psychology for me, honestly. I picked it because it was the most interesting thing with the least amount of math.
but that's something we bonded on.
Right.
I was initially a psychiatry major as well.
Right.
But I did drop out, and so...
I mean, we all did.
I got in trouble, and
Same.
with the law at
yes.
18, and I was dating a really shitty human, and got in trouble for, like, selling weed and all that, but...
I didn't do that.
It was right after I placed
I did
my
worse,
son
I'm sure.
for adoption. And so
course.
I was like spiraling down this deep, dark rabbit hole. And it is what it is. I'm 25 now. I'm a better human.
That
I'm
shit's behind us. That stuff's off my record. Who cares? Shout out to Randy Larson.
I'm glad that you brought that up. And you're such a beautiful human. And you're so bright. And you're so... You are positive as well. You are an authentic human being. You're logical.
Yes. I'm not always, we can do a whole nother segment about depression and things like that, but I'm not always.
Of course. And you should be a part of the Hard Talks episode where we cover mental illness for sure. If you'd like to be, we could
absolutely
do an interview.
Absolutely.
But I'm just so excited because I think you and Corey are going to mesh so well.
Yes.
Again, I'm
excited to meet her.
This safe space where we can talk all varying perspectives. The whole point of this podcast is to broaden our horizons and learn and, maybe grow from each other. I didn't think of that. Oh, you brought that up. Never even would have crossed my mind. Who's to say? So, yes, it is essentially going to be a political bonus, but with Corey on our right, Beth in our left, and me in the middle, I think that we're going to create something, especially where the younger generation could learn something from, or maybe even, I don't even want to say learn because I don't want to be that way, but maybe they could just take something away from it that they wouldn't have thought of initially. You know what I mean?
Also, successful people lead by example. So I think that if all three of us can sit here and have those hard talks about that stuff and still laugh at the end of we can, I think that that's something our country needs right now is to all,
it's important
without getting into it.
It's important to be able to hear a differing perspective or opinion or belief system. I mean,
and not lose your shit, essentially.
The United States is in such a divide right now. We really need to come together and to be able to have those open discussions. And that's the importance of this. So that's why I want to make sure that we come at you in a respectable way. These conversations are not going to be heated.
Well, you can have passion behind your words and not be hateful.
Absolutely.
So
thank you for saying that. That is so true. But for those who are listening, I just want to make that be clear.
I think that this will be a form of healing for everybody because I think having these hard talks are a big, that's why people go to therapy. You have these hard talks and then you heal from them. And I think everyone needs healing right now. And I think that we can all help each other if we, can sit here and have passionate conversations that aren't hateful.
Yeah.
So.
And I've always said that knowledge is power.
Exactly.
There is no news
DJ
network.
Mondoon.
Yes. There's no news network or platform that is just like right down in the middle. I have not come across anything that has brought in both sides and has been able to talk
respectfully
them out.
Like that.
Yeah. And that's my whole intent here, guys. So that being said, this first episode, we're just going to jump into a couple of things that we missed in Utah.
Yes.
I hope you're still with us. I know you are. And even though we're not talking drinking in our bonuses, because we are talking about heavier things, get your drinks out, because this one's going to be
you guys do your thing.
But you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So there have been a couple of things that people emailed the show about. They asked about the military base. And you had mentioned that your brother was in the Air Force, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have a huge military base installation in Utah, and it actually employs over 35,000 people. So,
which is nuts.
Yeah, I didn't get to touch on it in the main episode, but we actually have a really diverse culture in the state of Utah.
You know what is the weirdest thing? That I didn't realize how big military bases were like that until, like, you're on the highway. What's it called? Highway
89.
Yeah. In Utah, and then
I-89, I think.
There's all these different exits that are miles apart that are like how you can get on the Hill Air Force Base. Like like exits to go to an entrance of one.
Yeah.
But I was like, this shit is huge. I'm glad that I didn't know how many people work there, so I'm glad you brought that up. But like, that was one of the first things that like there's like a South Gate or like a whatever, and they're like
Southgate,
miles apart. Yeah.
The Roy Gate is the West Gate, and
the one by the Starbucks. I see that one a lot when I'm here.
Anyway, there's 4 entrances to the military base
in Clearfield.
So it's huge, and so it brings people and families from all over the world.
Right.
So, a lot of people, when they think of the state of Utah, they're like, oh, it's just a bunch of fucking Mormons. And as I said...
100%, that's what everyone thinks.
Yeah, as I said... In our last episode, it was like 62% of the population has identified as LDS. Yeah.
That's crazy, because if you look at stats of the state, right?
Of this state, yeah.
So if you look at stats of other states, it'll be like, this state is 41% religious, and that's multiple religions.
Yeah.
So when you look at this as like, what'd you say, 62?
62%. Okay. We do have a population of like 3.1 million people. So
that is
we're kind of fucking full in the state of Utah, but I know so many people who are like, I don't even know where the fuck that is on a map. And I freaking, it's just so funny because there's so much stereotypes or stigmas, like I was saying, surrounding the state still. And so I guess that's...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you coming from Iowa, what did you know about the state? Just the Mormons?
Not really. Yeah, but it wasn't like...
Did you know where it was, at least on a map?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I wasn't... I knew that there were Mormon people here, but I don't think I realized how big of an influence it really actually had on a state until I got here. And then I was like, oh, that's like the thing. Like,
well, and there, for the people who live here, like, you'll come across a group of people who will sit there and say, like, you're either Mormon or you're like hippy dippy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you either really like the outdoors, and I swear it's like all my friends from Utah are either like, they're all out there like in their Patagonia. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yes, and they're all out there like,
that'd be me.
Well,
or in their Subarus.
Oh,
there's like a collective group of people that calls like the rock climbing, outdoorsy, like hippie people in the state of Utah granolas. Have you heard that?
No, but I love that.
They're granolas.
I love that.
Yeah.
But also, if you ever go to Colorado, it's Subarus and Jeep Wranglers. So it might just be a mountain thing.
I think you're right. I think maybe. Because, you know, I don't want you to forget, we are living life elevated in this Mormon state.
Oh.
And I will say it again.
That could be such a cooler slogan if you guys weren't so like, you guys.
It's still cool.
It's cool, still cool, but it's like, it literally means by like elevation. Like, I'm thinking like beyond.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends who live in Colorado.
Yes. And shout out to Denver and Aurora, Colorado.
Ooh, and Salida.
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 Yep.
Okay, sorry guys.
Have you been to Salida with me yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
Soon.
But I did touch on this in the main episode. We have the license plates that say the world's greatest snow. I'm going to say it again because I'm not afraid. Kiss our butts, Colorado.
The world's greatest snow.
Powder's great. This year's been shitty. Snowboarding and skiing hasn't. You ever been skiing?
I'd
like to hear about this.
Yeah, one time in 8th grade, I fell on my ass on the bunny slope. It was a church trip, which is like, that's how you know how long ago it was, because I'm not a churchy person anymore. But my mom, I would always have to go to like youth group and Sunday school and like go to church and everything. And I was in the church choir. Now that I look back on it, it's a little like weird, like how involved I was. And like now I'm like, we're not going to do that. But
let's not do that.
But it was a church trip and I fell on my ass, and you know, they try to teach you like skiing, and they're like pizza, french fry, like, and I was like, I'm doing the fucking pizza, and I'm still going down the hill. And that's not I don't like being in control. I don't like not being in control of things, and I always tell people I don't do shit if there's something attached to my feet.
Right.
So I don't go.
So rollerblades.
No, fuck that. Ice skating, fuck that. Skiing,
I'm just laughing so hard because I can see you out on the ice trying to fucking stay.
Somebody has a picture of me like in a...
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Bethany is really into RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, I like the RuPaul girls the most because they're the ones I know the most. Like, it's hard to get into local drag when you live in LA and no one's doing anything. And there's been events that I've been to, which we can talk about at a different time, but that I've met local drag queens.
Do you remember when I met a local drag queen and I just went up to her and
wasn't a local drag queen. If any of you out there watch RuPaul's Drag Race, she went up to Morgan McMichaels.
And I was like, you are so beautiful. She was just sitting at the bar, and like, this was my first...
Morgan McMichaels.
This was my first drag show that I'd ever been to. Bethany and our friend Tyler took me to one when we were in LA together, and it was amazing.
What's that bar called that we went to? I don't remember. The Precinct? Is that the gay bar in LA?
But it was awesome because it had little...
Well, there's a million, but like...
Scientific looking shots.
Yes, and really attractive gay men bring them over to you in little skimpy underwear, so that's fun too.
Yes, but I was shook. Like, my life was shook. I was like, these people are amazing. And
you saw the Boulay brothers, and you saw Gia Gunn.
I did. She was great. Gia
Gunn.
Yes, and there was like big controversy about her because she technically has had her surgery, and they were like, she's not a drag race queen anymore. Right. So she doesn't apply. Right. And it's like, well, hold up. She was fucking amazing. Let's go back and just like enjoy. But yeah.
Drag is theater though, and it shouldn't be Morgan McMichaels.
Yes, she was sitting at the bar, and we were just all having a drink, and it was right after she performed. It was kind of like an intermission of the actual show, and I saw her and I just waltzed right up to her and I was like, you are so beautiful and I need to tell you how amazing you did. And she turned to me and she's like, oh honey, you are so sweet, and she gave me a hug, and then we all got pictures together.
Yes.
And I didn't realize until after that, because Bethany and Tyler are like fangirling. They're like, oh my god, do you know who you just fucking talked to? And I was like, nope. And they're like, oh, I fucking
she's
love
like
that.
A Drag Race OG and has been on... I would have to look it up. Tyler could sit here and tell you what seasons. I can't tell you that. But she's been on her original season and then on, I think, 2 All-Star seasons.
By the way, Tyler, when this releases and you hear this, you best 5-star the shit out of it, or I'm going to find you.
Yeah, you little bitch. I was going to say it, but then I was like, oh.
Alicia will say it. I love you. You know I do.
We love Tyler.
But back to Utah. I'm so sorry.
Drag
you
race
did
segue.
mention again. We had to add that in there. It's a big part of Beth. We even threw our bachelorette drag theme party, which Tyler threw,
and it was.
Was amazing.
That not the most
it was amazing.
outrageous bachelorette party? Like, most produced. Like, there was so much production on that fucking bachelorette party.
Right. And it was
awesome.
so fun. We were at a 5-star resort, and then our friend ended up scaling like a fence to get into the pool at 1 a.m. It was
the
all
Waldorf I can't ever say it.
Astoria. We're probably saying that wrong.
No, I can't say the first world.
It's okay.
I can't. Waldorf.
Astoria.
In
Park City, Utah.
Park City, and we were in the presidential suite, and it was like we had security.
Which we harassed at 1 a.m. But
like, when I tell you we have security, I'm saying that there was a security guard outside of our suite the entire night to make sure, and I was like, what?
But we decorated it all RuPaul themed, and there were wigs on this big moose rack that hung in there, and we had a fashion show and lingerie.
Well, it was also Anna Nicole themed.
It was fabulous.
He's not going to get over that we just talked about him that
much.
Yeah. Let's not talk about it.
We're not blowing up your head anymore.
Exactly.
Anyways, back to our culture thing, like, again, like, is a very diverse cultural community because there's people coming from all over the world. It's not just a bunch of LDS people like a lot of people think. And I had to throw it in because there's a lot more to do here than you'd think. And we actually have an amusement park. So as I was saying in the previous main episode, all the cities are like in a ribbon, right on a fault line, in a valley, in a bowl of mountains. But right in the middle of this valley sits over 100-year-old amusement park, and it's just grown and grown and grown and grown.
It's 100 years old.
Yeah, it's over 100 years old. So when it opened up, it was
amazing.
Like 1886, dude. It was originally called Lake Park because they had 6 acres of a lake. And that's why it was later on named Lagoon. But yeah, it's 134 years old. Main attraction at the time in 1886 was rollerblading, canoeing out onto this pond or lake. The white roller coaster was then made after the first ride, which was a log flume type ride. And yeah, I believe they had dancing, and there was this fancy pavilion that I kept reading about. No bars, of course, then, because we all have to remember where we're at. But yeah, it's a part of Utah's history, and it is a huge attraction. It brings people from all the bordering states around, Idaho, Colorado. I mean, my family in Grand Junction always stops there when they come to visit. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, okay.
And I mentioned the white roller coaster that's there is like one of the oldest roller coasters in the West.
Okay, so don't go on that one if you value your life.
So my stepsisters, her mom was best friends with a girl. She fell out of the white roller coaster at Lagoon and died. She was run over by the actual roller coaster. So that's crazy.
I am already frightened of amusement parks. I don't fucking get it.
I love them.
I will go to Disneyland. I'll go to because engineers did that shit, and they can't have people falling out and getting run over.
Engineers did that shit at Lagoon too.
It's
Disney not like engineers. A carnival.
Well,
you're a Disney bougie.
No, I'm not. But like the
yes, I am.
No, I'm not.
Yes, I am.
The engineers that do the Disney rides are probably a little bit better than the ones that did the Lagoon rides in 1982.
Well, they have to keep them updated. Like, there's still engineers that work there.
I don't think that's ever happened at Disney.
I do work with someone.
Look up how many people have died on the Incredicoaster.
I went to high school with someone who's an engineer at Lagoon, actually.
Oh, great. My point.
But I mean, like, for all the 3.1 million people that live here, like,
just don't go on that one.
That's a huge attraction in this area.
I've been there lots.
Yeah,
I had a year pass one time because I was a nanny for
a season pass.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Just like the ski resort season passes, like whatever. But
okay. So I have a Disney. I don't anymore, but pre-COVID, I had a Disneyland annual pass because you can fucking go to Disneyland any day of the year.
I've always wanted to go around Halloween.
Did we go? We went to Disneyland? Oh, we didn't go around Halloween.
I've never been to Disneyland around Halloween.
It's beautiful. You know, Oscar and I went. That's my husband, for anyone that doesn't know. But,
oh, yeah, she's married.
Well,
we love Oscar.
We love
Oscar so much.
But
Corey's married as well.
Our Halloween date was we went to Disneyland, but we went to California Adventure because that's the only side that serves booze. And, like, obviously, I'm going to want to do that.
That's the side I need to be on because the last time we went to Disneyland together, we got fucked up drunk.
We weren't driving, to be fair.
Yeah, no.
My husband was driving us.
Yeah, correction, sorry. We were not driving drunk.
Yeah, we didn't drive from LA to Anaheim drunk.
But we did get fucked up. And I had to pee so bad. You had to pee so bad.
I literally was
left the
Jeep.
It
hurt so bad that so we're in line to park.
Which is forever long.
Because we got there.
Line, apparently. Everything in life is a line. That's how I feel.
We got there right when it opened, so like everyone else was also getting there, and there's something about drinking a bunch of alcohol in a car right when you wake up that is just...
Yeah, mind you, this is like 10 a.m. and Bethany and I are already drunk as skunks. We beeline from the Jeep line because it was taking so long.
I could not wait 1 second. I literally was
in the parking garage, and then we...
Not in front of everybody.
No.
In the stairwell.
Not. We squatted in the stairwell, which I'm sure was on security footage somewhere. But then we stood forever in line again, because that's all Disneyland is. That is the only thing I took away from Disneyland as a kid. Not the magic, but si no me se sentago, por favor.
Oh, I know.
Please remain seated at all times. I hate lines.
But remember, I bought us the fast pass, so it did go faster.
Yes, it went so much faster, but we still had to wait.
It wasn't fast.
And we were meeting some other friends who had little kids. That's we went on the Disney side. So we were so fucked up by the time it was like 11:30, we're like dragging.
Yeah, because when you day drink and then you quit. Yeah, when you day drink and then you quit, it's like
real shitty. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're just tired. You're just done.
But, yeah. So next time we know California Adventure Side.
Yeah, because then you can keep up your stamina.
But don't be too surprised or shook here. The Mormon state actually allowed a bar to open up in Lagoon.
Stop!
The local amusement park. And you know what?
I didn't know that. So, Kate...
Yeah.
You know Kate?
Yeah.
Her whole thing is
Kate. I taught Kate about in the main episode because she's the one who asked me if the state was a dry state.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she remembers her dad taking her and her brother Cam to Lagoon when she was little because he lived in Elko, Nevada.
Elko. Yeah, that's not too far from here.
Is it not? I'm trying to think. She might correct me and it was a different place, but
that's
like
okay.
She lived around here and not around here, but in driving distance to go to an amusement park.
Yeah.
But she remembers that.
It was Elko because I remember her talking about Elko.
Okay, I think it is too.
I have some friends and family that live in Elko. I have some friends and family that live in Grand Junction too, and that's how big of an attraction Lagoon actually is, because there's no Six Flags or no Disneyland.
She said that she would go like every summer for a while, so she knew like. And it was funny because I lived in Roy but worked in Centerville, so it was like I was like, that's my drive to work every day. And
and that's a part of it because since all of our main cities are in a ribbon and in the valley, you pass Lagoon. Anytime you're going from north
and people
to
will
south,
ask you, they'll be like, "Are you past Lagoon yet?" Like it's almost like a landmark where people are like, "Where are you on?" Yeah,
a lot of people. I mean, even when I was in Italy, when I was 18 years old, I had met some people who were from the United States, and they're like, "Oh, Salt Lake City," like because I was like, "I'm from Ogden," and they're like, oh, how far is that from Salt Lake City?
Yeah,
Are you past Lagoon? That's an
Yes!
And I'm like, oh, you know what Lagoon is? That's fucking wild to me.
It's not shitty. I make it out to be
fun.
shitty. It's not shitty.
They have a water park within the amusement park.
I know.
That's how big it is.
I've taken Kenzie and Brace before.
And
my niece and nephew.
Maybe some of our listeners from Utah can tell me how many acres Lagoon takes up, but it is a lot.
It is big.
100 years ago.
So if you Iowa friends that are listening, it's like Adventureland, but I would almost say that Lagoon is a little bit better. I really would.
Because I like But
I haven't been to Adventureland in forever. But Adventureland has a water park now too. It's in Des Moines, Iowa.
Well, I've never been to Des Moines, Iowa. So you'll have to take me.
We don't need to go there.
We don't need to go there.
We'll be fine.
But back when it first opened, I mean, they had horse races there. So you want to talk about Utahns not gambling. I mean, when I think of gambling, the first thing that pops to my mind is either slots, Vegas, or horse racing. And we did.
You've been to a horse race? Have you?
I've never been to a horse race.
I haven't either. I feel like I'd hate it.
It's huge. In the southern states of the United States.
Right.
But
Kate celebrates the Kentucky Derby every year.
She showed me her Derby hat.
Her Derby hat.
I tried one on.
And she just goes to the bar and celebrates the Derby. So,
So Kate better definitely give us a like and follow and review for this bonus episode.
She will.
Because so much shout outs to Kate. She's such a spectacular person.
So also, really fast, before we talk about new things.
Yeah.
But with the Lagoon thing, though, a funny story. You know my little Kenzie?
Yeah.
My niece. So she wanted to go on that, like, everyone that's been there will know that, like, cheese mouse roller coaster.
Oh, that's scary.
But she wasn't tall enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so they wouldn't let her go. And she ran past. Because I'm literally holding, like, because I gave them so much money to win all those stupid stuffed animals. And to the point where I gave somebody a lot of money just to have the big one.
Yeah.
Because that's what they wanted.
You paid for the actual stuffed animal?
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm not sitting here all day watching them do
I didn't think that was a thing.
You can. You just ask them. That's the same amount. You can.
I want a cheap electric guitar winning the ring toss game.
What?
You throw the plastic rings and try to get it on a bottle. I still have it. It's a pink electric guitar. I think the funniest thing about that memory is my dad. I begged and begged to play, and he's like, this is such a waste of money, Alicia. I'm only going to let you play once as a very valuable life lesson. So you know not to throw your money away. And third ring toss in, I fucking made it onto the bottle, and the person running the stand was even shocked. She's like, holy shit. And I'll never, ever, ever forget the look on my dad's face. It was just shock, jaw to the ground. But then I was like, well, fuck, what am I going to do with this guitar? Now I have to carry it around the amusement park for the rest of the day. So that was my, my reward is what he said. You want it, you carry it. Good job. So yeah, anyways, what happened with Kenzie? I'm sorry, I get sidetracked so easily. But she
ran past because I'm holding 3 ices and like a fucking 9-foot stuffed snake. And, like, we did go around Halloween because I had a pumpkin, the big-ass pumpkin, the stuffed pumpkins that you get from there. And I was, like, holding all of it, and I was like, I'm like, Kenzie, stop, like, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And she's just, like, bolts past this guy, and he, like, looks at me, and he's like, like, giving me, and I was like, well, she's with her brother. And
Are you really?
Well, all I said to him, I was like, what? She's, like, 2 inches short. Like,
Come on.
And she got off of there, and she was, like, so smug.
That ride, I want you, by the next time that we meet with Corey for our next bonus, I want you to Google how many deaths have happened in Disneyland and Disney World.
Versus Lagoon.
No. Well, maybe. Because they've also had people die off of that ride that you were specifically talking about. I think it's the mouse trap.
No.
No. Yeah, when it was first engineered. A cart fell off. But yeah, no, please do Google that because...
I will.
Okay, sweet, because I'm really curious to know. Well, I mean, I know you wanted to throw this in because when you first moved here, there was a little bit of culture shock.
Oh, so Alicia was asking about the culture shock thing, and I think only 2 really things. First one, I'll tell really fast. I won't get into it super detailed, but, One time a girl at cosmetology school asked me if I could see her garments through her leggings.
And I the magic underwear.
And oh, you already talked about it.
We
but
talked about it.
I literally was like, just say underwear. Like, I literally looked at her like
garments.
I didn't fucking know anything about that. But, so that was the one culture shock thing that I really had. And then the second thing is you guys in Utah have drive-thrus for fucking everything.
Yeah, that's true.
The places that you guys don't, you can go to Subway in Utah and go through a drive-thru. And you can go to... Where else? You can go to the gas station and get cigarettes in your car and don't have to get off your ass once. That blows my mind.
But since the state is so regulated, it's not like you can go to a drive-through gas station and get beer or anything.
You can do that in Denver because Kate and I go all the time.
They won't serve you alcohol out of a window. And the only alcohol we carry at gas stations is
3-2? Oh, no, it's not 3-2 anymore.
Yeah, so we touch on the high point thing.
Oh, good, good.
The national average is what? Do you know off the top of your head?
Of what?
Beer content.
7.
7. So for the last forever,
I think it's 7. It might be lower, but I think
maybe
it's 7.
6.4%.
Exactly, yeah.
Because that sounds more... I feel like I read that, and I'm just throwing that out there. You can correct us in our comments again. I'm going to throw that in as many times as possible because we want to hear from you.
Yeah, let us know so we learn. This is the learning.
But for the entire history of Utah, we've been at 3.2% beer alcohol content. So within the last 2 years, that's what we meant by high point beer in the last episode if we didn't specify enough.
Yeah, so
we're now
Air
at
Force
6.4%.
Air Force Base wrap up.
Yeah.
But my sister-in-law likes to go on Air Force Base and go to the commissary and get alcohol there because you can get different stuff on the Air Force Base.
Yeah,
and I remember when Lime-A-Ritas first came out, they're disgusting. I've drank so many of them, they're disgusting. I won't even look at one.
Oh, God.
But they first came out and they're like a big hit because everyone's like, that got me fucked up. And that was a little ass can. But when the strawberry ones first came out, I was in Utah, and I remember that they had them at the commissary, and they had all these orange stickers all over them that said strong beer. Like, it was letting you know, like, it wasn't 3-2.
Yeah.
And I was literally like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
But you could go to it's a state mandated liquor store, but you could go to the liquor store and get a bottle of Jack and get... I don't understand why it's like, because they're both accessible.
Our syntax, which we touched on last time.
I need to just listen, but
our liquor in the state liquor store is so expensive.
Taxed.
Yes, and it is, and so.
I know because I bought all my liquor for my fucking wedding.
Yeah, they tax extra for alcohol,
store.
Like I said, tobacco products and coffee. They tax extra for coffee. So the next time you get a receipt...
You know why they tax extra for coffee?
The next time...
Did you guys talk about that?
Yeah, we did. So, but that's why I'm throwing it in there. Because the next time that you buy coffee from a grocery store
nothing that's good for you.
Yeah, anything...
No stimulant. Nothing that makes you feel good you can have.
Oh, man. But, yeah, I mean, yeah. Sorry. Next time you go to the grocery store and look at your receipt and see how much the sales tax is on your coffee or tea. Because, that really is a real thing.
I noticed that because I am a habitual... I get a keto iced coffee every morning from Starbucks. And if I don't...
She's a Starbucks bitch.
If I don't go to Starbucks, I make it at home. But, like, they're not the same when you make them at home.
I personally don't like Starbucks because I feel like their coffee...
A lot of people here don't like it.
It tastes burnt.
But I like going to Starbucks because it's familiar.
I understand
because I know exactly what I want and I don't have to go in there and look at everything and try to fucking figure it out. Like, I am like, can I please get a grande cold brew with heavy cream and 4 pumps of sugar-free vanilla?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm that girl. But... I get it every morning.
Get along so well.
Oh, God, I hope. Since being here, like, versus the Starbucks that I always go to every morning, like, it is more expensive here. And I'm like, I don't ever know if it's, like, they're adding more, like, pumps to stuff, and, like, the lady that, like, knows me, like, doesn't add the pumps or whatever, but it's, like, it is more expensive here,
If
for
her
sure.
coffee from Starbucks is more expensive in Utah than LA,
No. Yeah, it is.
Then
Swear.
you know that what we're saying is the truth. I'm just saying that syntax really is real. But really quick, since this is our bonus episode, we got to cut it a little bit shorter than our regular episodes. I know it. But I had a lot of questions asked from the main episode.
Talk about those.
About polygamy. A lot of people from out of state want me to get more in depth about our polygamy. And you know what? If I have enough people who comment on it, I'll even fucking make an episode about it. But as of right now, a couple things I just needed to add in. I had a question from Tracy, who lives in Wisconsin. Shout out to Tracy. Wisconsin.
I love that.
Thank you, Tracy, for messaging in. She wanted to know why polygamy has gotten such a bad rep. She goes on to say, I'm in an open relationship and it works really well for us. I know that's controversial and doesn't work for everybody, but I don't see why there's so much ridicule. I mean, maybe that long ago, sure, but I don't see why they got so much flack for having multiple wives. Well, Tracy, I will quickly give you a rundown. It wasn't always just about their wives. I mean, sure, back in the 1800s, I think a lot of it had to do with them being different and going against your quote-unquote monogamy. But in recent years, they've gotten so much flack because of the extremists in the fundamentalist church, their prophet being Warren Jeffs. Warren Jeffs is still their prophet, and he runs the fundamentalist church from prison because he's still their prophet. He was arrested for marrying minors, some as young as 12, 13 years old. Obviously, he had multiple wives and had been brought up in the fundamentalist church. So, I mean, having multiple wives was normal for him or them, but marrying children so young, under the age of 18, is not normal. It's not normal. Even for some people who practice polygamy, you got your show Sister Wives or whatever, they sit there and tell you, we do not condone that. That's totally not cool. And it's not. But yeah, he still is the prophet of the FLDS church, the big community in Colorado City. And I'm sure you probably remember hearing about that in the news because it was a huge deal. This whole city, this whole compound was raided and hundreds of children were taken away from their parents. It was crazy, and that's why Utah has a big misconception to it. But remember, guys, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon LDS Church as it is today, separated from the FLDS back in like 1869 to become a state. So they're not affiliated in any way, shape, or form anymore, aside from their scandalous history. So yeah, Tracy, I hope that answers your question. I really appreciate you messaging in. That's so epic. We wish you well in Wisconsin. You have...
I wasn't really thinking underage. I was just thinking multiple women. I was not thinking underage.
Right, and we talked about the multiple women thing. Like, yeah, that's what polygamy is. Like, they believe that they should have multiple wives and try to create as much life as possible, if that makes sense. So, yeah, that's where the 42 kids comes in with the polygamy thing. But Warren Jeffs was a criminal, and he turned the FLDS into kind of what was speculated as like an occult-like community. Because Warren Jeffs was being married to 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds.
Okay.
Which is extreme.
I'm having a silent heart attack over here. I'm looking at Alicia, and my eyes are getting bigger and bigger because I'm just so...
I know. It's
So,
not great
I
news, but that's where the bad rep comes from. And
I think it comes from when you think of, and maybe Sister Wives has just fucked everybody up.
the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think that it is a trait of, like, toxic masculinity where it's like, you and I, like, looking at you right now, like, you deserve to be.
I still deserve.
She
even
still
after
does.
Divorce. I deserve it all.
You deserve, yeah, all of it.
All of it.
You deserve to be loved and have a fucking one-on-one relationship with somebody. And I'm not, and people come in where it's like, it's jealousy and it's this and this, but I'm like, how, you can't, I say the same thing about people that have too many kids. How do you have that connection with somebody if there's that many of them? Because those relationships and those connections are the most beautiful thing that you'll ever have in your life. And sharing it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, you'll never know that many of your children individually.
How do you have 19 kids? How do you have 19 kids and you know everything about them, what their favorite food is, and like?
Are you referencing 19 kids and counting?
I'm just that number.
They're not polygamous at all.
I didn't say that they were polygamous. I'm saying that I'm comparing that to that. I'm comparing polygamy to having too many kids.
Right.
How do you love somebody that you, like, those relationships are the best things that you're ever going to experience in your life. I really think that's why we're here.
And how are you going to nurture each relationship with each individual kid if you have that many relationships? Without
being like that girl, I feel, and not being like a self-proclaimed empath, but I'm very empathetic about stuff, and so I cherish each relationship I have with every single individual person. And so to me, I wouldn't have 5 kids versus like 19. Like, I want like maybe 2 kids I really can like
get to know.
Yes, because I think that's important. And I feel like in relationships, I don't understand how you can build this trustworthiness and this amazing life with more than one woman. I really don't. Or a man. Oh my God. Like, I really feel my husband with me is like, could not even handle one more thing. Like, I don't know how he would handle.
Right.
But
and how do your sister wives get together?
Okay, but are the women that are sister wives, are they supposed to be, this is an honest question. I've watched the Sister Wives show where it's like he spends like every night a week with like the different lady.
Right. There's supposed to be a system to it all where he spends a certain amount of time with each lady.
That's not a life partner. That's a whole different, that's not even marriage.
Well, in Sister Wives, the reality show is completely unrealistic because they don't wear the full coverage, old school dresses. They don't keep their hair braided back.
But they're supposed to.
A lot of the polygamists who live in Colorado City, which I mentioned last episode, are those who are in the full wrist sleeves and their dresses come down to their ankles and up to their necks, and they're all their long hairs braided back. So they could pass as Amish, honestly. They even have small businesses like the Amish do. Especially as you get closer to Colorado City, they have like a dairy store that has nothing in it. So I think it's a front, honestly. I mentioned it briefly, but we go up to Zion National Park so often. We take that extra hour drive to Colorado City just because my sister and I have always been curious and kind of like to poke fun at the bears, but they do not take kindly to visitors. But I know you'll get a kick out of this because they have a coffee shop, which is like super like against their religion. They're not supposed to drink any caffeinated beverages. But that was the most bumpin' place in all of Colorado City. And yeah, no shocker there, the polygamists run it. We got such a kick out of that, especially my dad. He's like, oh man, they opened a little shack coffee shop. let's get some for the drive back. And the lines wrapped around the parking lot, and polygamous girls working the window serving people coffee. And he's just like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever fucking seen. It's terrible. We're terrible, but whatever. And mind you, Colorado City is tiny. It is right on the Arizona-Utah border, and these people are private. Again, they do not like to be disturbed. So if you make a trek up to Colorado City, make it quick. It's pretty weird demographically when you get there because all of the houses on the right-hand side of the interstate are all these mega rich, beautiful mansions, and that's where a lot of their church leaders live. But if you go across the freeway on the left-hand side of the interstate, they're all these still super big houses, but they're all unfinished on the outside. They don't put any stucco or brick on the outside of their houses to avoid paying property taxes. And there are also all these big walls around each compound to keep unwanted eyes from peering in. So that's why I recommend, and why I said in the main episode, if you ever go to visit, be quick about it, because they will follow you in your vehicle until you leave the city limits. It's kind of nutty.
I'll have to ask my mom because the neighbors across the street from us forever had like a little church in their like basement.
Yeah.
And I've been in there before because I would go try to sell them Girl Scout cookies. But they always wore their hair up in buns and the long skirts. And I don't know, is it Jehovah's Witness? Do they do that as well? Because I hear it compared a lot. Like,
well, I mean, and I get so many questions again from people who've never been here, like, aren't there just a bunch of polygamists here? And
no, it's like, really not. It's really not.
It's really not. It's very normal.
There is a difference between like new LDS and old LDS, right? Or is that just how someone explained it to me?
Well, do you mean someone who like
polygamy is like old LDS is what I've been told.
That's why it's called the Fundamentalist Church of the Latter-day Saints.
So the Fundamentalist is the newer version of it.
So okay. No. It's the older version.
Oh, yes.
Latter-day Saints Church are the... I mean, I touched on like our extremists in the last episode, but our population is so condensedly... I've
only been offended by an LDS person one time in my life.
Well, that's good. I've been offended multiple times.
Well, you were there when it happened.
When?
In core class when...
Oh, we won't mention names.
I'm not. Yeah. I would never. And we had a girl in there. She's the one that asked me one day, like, can you see my garments through my leggings? And I was like, just fucking say underwear. Why are you talking like that? And she's like... No, like, and then I learned about everything. So then I was like, okay, now I get it. But one time I came out here, so I was like on Tinder for a little bit. And like, also like my type of guy, like, isn't around here except for like Oscar was
big hulking black men.
Well, my husband's not black, but like somebody that's not a little white guy is like what I like.
Like my ex-husband.
Yeah. Oh God, no, I would never. But
continue. Stop it.
That's the best thing. Oh, I don't know why we're just talking about.
She gave you shit for being on Tinder.
Yeah, Tinder. She was like, I don't understand how you just like have sex with these people and don't have a relationship with them. And I'm always like, it's easy. It never usually lasts very long.
We're like, it's usually called casual sex.
Well, it's like they've been hitting you up for 4 weeks and you go over there and they like bust in 2 minutes and you're like, why the fuck did I even send you all those heart face? Like, that sucked.
Dude, I need to tell you.
You were sweaty? I had that,
Oh, he was too sweaty. Yucky.
Well,
I remember that story verbatim.
Like. Yes. Oh my God.
I need to slide this in somewhere because it was a part of our weird laws.
Slide it in.
And I know that you'll appreciate this.
Fun fact me and we'll wrap it up.
Fun facts with Alicia this time.
Fun facts with Alicia and Beth.
Okay. So infidelity in the state of Utah is actually illegal. And I so wish that I had known that when I had gone through my divorce.
Wow, how did you not?
Because my lawyer never brought it up. I never knew about it.
So it was like sodomy, like taking up the butt's probably legal here too.
Probably.
I'm going to sue tomorrow for you. There are those weird laws that, like, aren't really applicable. Well, that one is, though. That's why it's fucked up.
Yeah.
But in other states...
I could have sued for the fuck out of infidelity.
Why didn't you?
Because I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it.
But also, do you want a big lawsuit or do you want to move on with your life and, like...
Well, it's been 2 years and I've moved on with my life.
Obviously.
But initially, if I had known that...
But you might still be in a lawsuit right now. How do you have done that? And would you like to relive that every day? Or would you like to just, like, get fucking rid of the trash?
No, that's true. Well, that being said, I can't talk about anything else because I'm court ordered not to.
Are you really?
I really am.
Oh!
And I think I'll just keep this in because of the authenticity.
No, it's awesome. And unless anything fucking... If anyone wants to cry about it, they already know.
But they're the kinds of people who, if I say anything, they're going to be like, oh.
Well, they're not on podcasts. They're on SoundCloud, babe. So we're going to... So they're never going to hear this anyway, so fuck them. I
had my ex-husband confirm the other day. He's just a SoundCloud rapper. You all know one of those, so... Imagine.
Yeah, but imagine one of those and then bad.
A narcissistic sociopath. Oh,
no, he's not bad, and he's been... he is bad, but he's been doing it for a long time. Like, since I lived in Utah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been doing that his whole life. Granted,
being a rapper?
Well, writing poems and music, you know.
Dude, that's different.
And his rap,
I wish... No.
He grew up in Proctor Care and all that shit. Was part of the state's custody and all that.
That sucks.
But the difference is you either let it define you or you rise above it. And he's just not one of those
people. Or you become a SoundCloud rapper.
That's who he became. So, you know, going from introductions to what our bonus episode is going to be about. We ran a little long this time, but, you know, we just can't cut any of this rawness out.
It was fun.
It's going to be even more fun when we have Corey here.
Can I give a Bethany disclaimer?
Bethany's giving her disclaimer.
I am so excited to have these conversations with Corey, and and it's nothing that Alicia says that's bad, but she, you know, is going to be like, this is this side and this is this side, and I've learned a lot, and I just want everyone to know that
there are no sides.
There are no sides, yeah.
We're all fighting for the same team.
But I'm fighting for the purest of things. Does that make sense? Because it's different, because we'll get into this later, but... When you look at the left and right side, they have different
Republican
things.
And Democrat side.
They have different things that are more important to them.
Right.
But I can't be upset with anybody because budgets are important. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I have a different list of things that are important to me, and then also everyone that's not. But, like, conservative people, like... I don't even like that. I don't even like that we're trying to have, like, sides of shit, because I have so many friends that are one way or the other, and I don't think that we should have to...
Right, and that's a part of... That's the whole point of this.
Right. So we're trying to...
We want to open up a
Ideally, the American government should run bipartisanly.
Yes.
And I think
absolutely agree with that.
That Alicia and I are trying to make these... bonus episodes when we do get into politics. This was a fun one, but when we do get into politics, we're trying to make it very bipartisan because
we want you to hear all perspectives.
And nobody changes from being attacked, and it's not like not everybody needs change either. It's going to be a very eye-opening experience for a lot of people.
The whole point of this is to talk about not just only current events, but how many people in our younger generation know how the Congress works, or how the Senate works, or
and how
we vote
the things that affect you in everyday life.
Yeah, so
how you can have a part in that with voting.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about that. And there's people oftentimes. Now, obviously, I think now this year, like, people, not, like, people, but I'm saying, like, younger generations, like, they don't understand, like, younger generations think that you just vote for the president.
Right.
And then he comes with a team, right?
Right.
But you vote for your representatives. So you really have to look at that stuff. And we'll get into that, and we'll get into...
Well, and it's not just the presidential thing. It's judges. And because I personally, me being neither party, believes that judges should have
Leo party, neither party.
Leo party, neither party. Leo party, neither party.
Do you have a Twitter? That should be your handle.
Our Twitter is Hard Talks.
No, you personally.
I do not.
That should be your name. I don't have a Twitter either because
I ain't gonna fucking do that.
Everyone annoys me. Yes.
I don't want to fucking
I don't want to see your one sentence updates all day because I'm already having my own. So.
No, but I mean, I personally think that judges should have terms. I mean, there's so many corrupt judges out there.
Everybody should have terms.
We just want to open up a safe space.
Everybody
where we
should
can
have
dialogue all sides, and there's nothing out there that's right in the middle that has differing opinions. It's either so left or so right. So that's the intention of these bonus episodes. Again, if you don't like to talk politics, it's okay if you skip us. Just,
skip it.
Still give those 5-star reviews. That's what these bonus episodes are here for.
Because either way, if you skip it, we're still covering what you think.
Yeah, we're on it for everybody. And we're just trying to build and grow and learn just like everyone else.
And heal.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
Yeah, we need to heal. We need to heal as a country.
We do.
Because we are so extremely divided right now. Yeah. I think it's so important that we create a safe space.
We would love if you guys left comments about the things that you would like to be addressed. And it doesn't have to, we're not history teachers. We're not trying to, our government
and we're
professor.
Not politicians either.
But if there's questions that you have about anything, Alicia and I can cover those pretty easily. So,
and our entire Hard Talks crew will be involved with this. This
exactly
doesn't impede or interfere with our regular episodes.
Shout out to Brett and Sarah.
We love them. My 2 blondes. You're amazing.
And
Corey. I'm so excited for you to be here for the next episode. I enjoyed our bonus episode.
This was
with you.
Honestly one of the best little. You and I always have fun and we always bond, but this was super cool. I really liked this. So
it's going to be great, and a lot of people will be able to relate to this.
Yeah.
And if you do, again, message us. Follow us at Hard Talks with BB and H on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow us on Twitter at Hard Talks with B1. So feel free to get those drinks ready.
Yeah, you guys might need them, and it's like we've talked about, you can have
open your
conversations
mind.
And not be hateful. And I'm a little nervous, to have these conversations with Corey.
Well, that's understandable, and I totally get it. It's scary, actually terrifying, pushing the envelope and going against the grain, especially with how sensitive these topics are right now. But I feel so strongly in my gut that someone's got to do it. Someone's got to put their neck out there and make themselves vulnerable. I have a life motto I like to repeat to myself. Anything hard is worth doing. And that's why these hard discussions are so important. Because if I've learned anything, it's those moments or conversations that make us really uncomfortable where we grow. So, all that being said, guys, don't forget to 5-star rate us. We love you.
Yes, please.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for listening.
I want to thank you also for having me on this, because this has been your dream and your thing, and you didn't have to include me, and you did. And I
think it's important. I again want to open that safe dialogue for everybody. Let's share those opinions. Let's learn from each other.
Right. So and be examples, right?
Exactly. We're going to try to be.
That's my number one goal into participating in this, is to be an example.
Yeah, and you're going to meet Corey, our other bitch, and she's so
excited.
And
so excited to meet her.
Tune in for our regular scheduled episodes for Hard Talks with 2 Blondes and a Hippie at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time every Friday evening.
Subscribe.
follow and look for those bonus episodes. We don't care what you comment. Comment your hair is blue, your shoes are old.
You could say Bethany's voice is the worst, and we would love that comment.
Yes. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your week.
Yes.
See you Friday evening.
Yes. Thank you for listening.
Until then, we love you.
Bye.
Bye.